The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
What? Nice introduction. Can you see it? Hi, Dr. Rudy Kachmann. Welcome to our diabetes show here today. It's about stopping, preventing, and reversing diabetes. A huge project. It's a pandemic in the world, epidemic in the United States, especially high in Allen County. But I'm going to teach you how to prevent it, stop it, and reverse it. And you can get rid of it 90% of the time, 6 weeks. You got to tell your doctor you're changing the way you're eating. So that they can stop medication, oral medication, a week or two. A lot of times insulin in a month or so. You got to check your blood sugar a little more frequently, because if you're eating the way I recommend that you eat, no diet, no vegan, no vegetarian, just eating differently, your blood sugars will drop quickly. Dr. Mark Hyman would say within a week. So to sit there and keep on taking the medicine without an attempt to reverse your condition would seem, that makes sense, does it? This is a judgment-free zone, but I'm just trying to help you. I'm just here. What pointed me in this direction really was many years ago. And then recently I read a book which really confirmed what I'm speaking about. So I like confirmation that somebody else happens to agree, then I know what I'm speaking about is correct. I've got laying here 5 books, so I'll show them to you one by one too, that you get some idea. We can get other information. Incidentally, you can go to YouTube, Rudy Kachmann, say diabetes, and that'll segregate my over 1,000 TV shows there, and the ones on diabetes come up. And you can look at them, you can watch them for 1 minute or for an hour, and you will gain a tremendous amount of free knowledge. I'm about information, okay? Matter of fact, I'm so pushy about this because it could save you dementia, thyroid disease, blindness, most dental diseases are related to sugar, unannounced heart attacks, strokes, amputations, dislocations, liver transplants, renal transplants, and many other illnesses could all be avoided. Our hospitals are full of these people. Mm-hmm. They don't want to change. I've been there. They don't want to change, but I'm leading the change. A lot of people in the community are leading the change. Matter of fact, at the Martin Luther King celebration of the Grand Wayne a month or two ago, they asked me to speak. I didn't suggest diabetes, they did. And I congratulate them, not for having me as a speaker, but I congratulate them for recognizing this is a big problem. The higher rates in racial groups, the higher rates in some ethnic groups, twice the rate. Mm-hmm. Partly related to genes, that in slavery, that they had to eat sugar cane would change their genetic structure a little bit, but more of it is type of food. Nothing to do with skin color. It's a type of food that these different groups are eating. Asians, for example, eat a lot of white rice. Well, that's sugar. You're much more likely to get diabetes, and so we see certain communities, even in the city, a very high rate of type 2 diabetes. I'm going to try to prevent it, stop it, and reverse it. I run many clinics, see people at the Three Rivers Pharmacy for free for diabetes. I did today. So man and wife, both diabetic. So what is this book I was speaking about with some confirmation? He is Joseph Kraft. It's a whole book, first book I'm going to hold up. You can see him also on YouTube, 92 years old, talking to Dr. Cummings, the most famous obesity doctor in the world from England. They're having a conversation. And Dr. Kraft, unfortunately, has died since then, but, it was 95 when he died or so. But he did research, University of Chicago in the 70s, published many papers which people should have picked up on. And what he discovered, it made different, he studied kids from age 3 to 90, even children. So he developed many curves for the first thing that elevates in elevated sugars is the insulin, because insulin pushes sugar by hitting these receptors into your cells. That's insulin's job. So for years we keep on getting blood sugars on people. They're normal, but our serum insulin is going like this every year. Pancreas has to secrete more and more and more till no insulin left. Pancreas died. Then blood sugars start going up. You say, you have diabetes. But you see, we could have been diagnosed for you when the insulin was going up and took corrective measures. Lose 5 pounds of weight, no diabetes, okay? It gets more difficult as time goes on. 20 years later, we may need to lose 50 pounds, maybe 100 pounds. You see the point? So to screen people with serum insulins, even as children, is critical. I talked to the head of the state Indiana Pediatric Society. He's not interested. And he should have said, Rudy, this is something. I'm going to take it to the state. We're going to have you speak to them. We're going to change the way we test people. No response like that. So they keep on getting HbA1cs, which catches you late in the disease, and you're developing vascular disease, cancers, unannounced heart attacks. You may even die long before your time. Rudy's good news is we can avoid all that. So I encourage you to, no matter what your weight is, because a good 20% of the people that are of normal weight, trophies, thin on the outside but fat in the inside, in the liver, in the pancreas, around their gut, they have diabetes, but we don't get a glucose tolerance test or insulin tolerance test because they're thin and we think they're healthy. 20% of the people are not. So get the right testing. Let me give you an example. If I were to look at a 200-pound person, a man, say, on a 60-pound woman, she's 5 feet, okay? So we get a blood sugar, and the nurse says, you don't have diabetes. I don't agree with that. I don't know. Why? Because they're overweight. So then I recommend a glucose tolerance test. You swallow 75 grams of sugar, and we get a fasting sugar, 1 hour, 2 hour, serum insulin, 1 hour, 2 hour, okay? Glucose tolerance test is normal. You don't have diabetes. I still don't know that. But when I look at the results of the insulin tolerance test, and that shows an elevation, say, over 40 at the 2 hour insulin tolerance test, you're diabetic. I always say confirm it with another test. So what I'm saying is we can catch you early on the path, and we should start testing you as children. Because many have the heart attacks and strokes when they're 30 and 40, and we could avoid all that. Half the heart attacks that occur, people have a chest pain, they grab their chest and they drop over dead. No angina, no warning, just occurs. Nothing diagnosed beforehand, they just go, bing, and they're gone. That's half all heart attacks today. They say we have great improvement in heart disease. Sure we do. People live a bit longer. A few, you do angioplasty, some live a little longer, some even die from the surgery though too. Don't forget that. But all that could be avoided. I mean, that's the whole point. So Dr. Kraft described the serum insulin elevates first, and if you take a blood vessel, the vasculature all over your body, the insulin punches a hole in the endothelium That's a one cell layer thick that covers your blood vessels, one cell layer thick. It makes a hole, okay? And then the fat piles on top of that. In the beginning, it was an inflamed artery, okay? So the cholesterol, isn't that the first thing? The cholesterol, which we pay so much attention to with the statins and all these things, today, a lot of people think it's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. And statins have side effects. Increases your blood sugar. It can affect the mitochondria in your cells and make you weak. It does reduce inflammation a bit. So I'm not saying they're useless, but that everybody in the country be on a statin, frankly, is a bit ridiculous. But your doctor makes the final decision. I do not. But ask questions whether you really need it or not, okay? Most vascular disease caused by diabetes, you can get rid of it in a short period of time through proper nutrition, okay? So I think you know all about the blood testing. I think you get it in your mind. And a lot of times, because people are not that much in love for reading and understand that, I have a one-page thing which you can pick up at the Three Rivers Pharmacy for nothing. On one side, I have the complications of diabetes. You need to be aware of them. I have a real big diagram there, and I've reviewed them once with you already, and I mentioned them again: blindness, retinal disease, cataracts, strokes, dementia, thyroid disease, heart attacks, pulmonary disease, liver transplants, vascular disease, many cancers. I didn't mention that already. 57% of cancers are due to diabetes. Why? Diabetes has a lot of obesity associated with it, okay? Not everybody's overweight is diabetic, but 80% of them are. And 50 to 70% of breast cancer could be avoided. And they hardly ever speak to a woman who knows that, yeah. All the money they collect from Fort Wayne goes to Indianapolis to come up maybe with one drug which will not cure the situation, because breast cancer has about 30 different genes, at least, maybe more, associated with it. So maybe to keep half the money here, teach people how to get well, get rid of their being overweight, they get rid of their breast cancer 50% of the time. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's important? Yeah, I think it's important. Maybe somebody could call Vera Bradley and tell them to watch this show so they know. I've been over there. Didn't do much good, okay? A lot of ovarian cancers are related to diabetes. Hip and knee arthritis is related to diabetes because the sugar combines with proteins and it forms what they call AGEs and insulin growth factors, and they're deposited in the joints, and you develop hip and knee arthritis. The most common joint involved with being overweight is the knee. Mm-hmm. And next is the back. But they've shown through scientific research, and I know this because I just spoke at the Snowmass Winter Neurosurgery Conference. I was a speaker, and my subject, weight and back pain, okay? So they found that the curves, if you lose weight, the direct relation to 10% of weight loss results in 80% reduction in back pain. Wow. Yeah. Knee pain is the most common complication of being overweight, but it's due to deposits, inflammation of the joints, and deposits of AGEs, the sugar and the proteins deposit in the joints directly, resulting in knee and hip arthritis. Other things diabetes can cause is neuropathy. We spoke about blindness, renal failure, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, impotency, vascular disease, and any blood vessels. Most amputations of the toes, the ankles, the joints, and the hips, and dislocations. Can you imagine walking on a dislocated joint? That happens in diabetes. Mm-hmm. If you have diabetes and don't get rid of it, you can probably die 20, 30 years before your time. Mm-hmm. 25 years of that time, you will be disabled. Mm-hmm. I was at a funeral recently where a brother had died, both legs amputated. Another brother had a leg amputated. Mother died from diabetes. And another brother, whose name you'd recognize, but I'm not going to mention, tells me, I respect diabetes. Well, I say to you, I don't want you to respect diabetes. I want to get rid of it. Aim for the root, eating properly. Okay, well, what is eating properly? Low carbohydrate, don't need to be horribly low, 50 grams a day, say. And good fats, okay? That probably get rid of your diabetes in 6 weeks. And I want you to know a little bit of what keto means, K-E-T-O. I just did a 1-hour show on that. It'll be on YouTube within 10 days. I'd like to listen to that show because if you eat low carbohydrate, remember it can be, 50, 30, 20 if you're severe advanced disease, maybe 20 grams of carbs a day, but let's say 30, 50 carbs a day, and learn what good fats are. If you spend 6 to 8 hours between meals, you go into what is called keto metabolism, where the fat cells open up, let fat out, combines with albumin, goes to the liver, makes ketones, and you use those for energy. And when you use them for energy, and when eating good fats, the insulin level stays down here. It doesn't go up like sugar would do. And insulin makes stiff arteries, increases sodium absorption, causes impotency, vascular disease, inflammation all over the body, increased rates of cancer, all things that could be avoided. So what I'd like you to do a little bit, if you want to get rid of your diabetes, eat less carbohydrates, eat good fats, and you can increase the weight loss by lengthening the time between meals. That gets you into ketones after 6 hours. There's no no sugar in your blood anymore, and you're living off fat, and you're getting skinnier every day. Okay, so but look at the ketone show maybe to learn a little bit more about it. Other great books to read is Dr. Joe Furman. He is a friend of mine. I met him years ago because I went to his camps. Excellent book, world famous, internationally well known. Good website too if you want a personal coach. Look at his website. I think it's cheap. You can listen to him. My name is the back of his book, so that I reviewed it for him. So I think it's one of the finest books on and what does it say? End of diabetes. He has another book called End of Vascular Disease. Not surprising. You end diabetes, you end vascular disease. He's written many other good books, good website. I highly recommend him. The last time we met, though, I beat him in tennis. And I'm letting him forgetting that. He's going to come back to town probably within a year to look for another match and give a talk. It's a true story. And I'm proud of that because he's an Olympic athlete. To beat him, and he's lefty too, to beat him ain't simple. And years ago I must have gotten a little bit upset because this has so many diseases attached to it, diabetes, that I wrote a book. You can't believe this. The scam, the racket, the fraud of type 2 diabetes, a national scandal. Well, when you think about it, isn't it really? When a government could do something about it, we're worried about the virus. We're worried about the virus. That's important. People may die from that, but a lot more die from diabetes. A lot more die from diabetes. So I think that's pretty important. You could see my point there, and thank you. I needed a cup of. I've been talking a lot today, and a little water. Maybe that'll take care of that. Wet my vocal cords a little bit. And I wrote one before that even called Reversing Diabetes. We're going back 10 years or so here. These are all on Amazon Books. And you wonder about the cover. I think I was trying to say here, lose a little weight, you get rid of diabetes. But like I said, that's not the whole thing. 20% of normal weight people have diabetes. They have just not been properly tested. Get your serum insulin test, especially children. Yes. Yeah. You got an overweight child, get glucose tolerance, insulin tolerance test. Your pediatrician will never order that, but if you tell them to do that, pick up the sheet or have them watch my YouTube shows, their lives are at stake. They can die in their 30s and 40s. Another excellent book is by Wes Youngberg, Goodbye Diabetes. Goodbye Diabetes. The thing is, I want you to read more. You don't have to just believe me. Read more. Goodbye Diabetes. And that's an interesting story from Wes Youngberg. He went to the island of Guam, which had been flattened by the Japanese, and they used to eat vegetables and fish from the ocean, and the fresh vegetables disappeared. I saw pictures of the natives. They were gorgeous. They looked like movie stars. That's in this book. But when they had to eat imported American food and Spam, 99% of the population became diabetic. Pictures of them in the book. And he was there 15 years, and then he was with the Amen Society, a great society, and I happened to run across him accidentally when I was at Hilton Head. I made friends with him, and he came out with a way of blood testing too. He didn't include the serum insulins, but the Kaiser Institute does this now. But he catches the rising blood sugars. That's all on this one page that I have here to hand out to people. You can pick one copy at the pharmacy there, but he's getting it. I still like the serum insulin because we would catch you way ahead of time on the path to diabetes, and you would be rid of it. Considering I've worked on this subject for a long time, speaking in many different centers, in the 30 to 50 diseases from diabetes, and I care about you. I wrote another book, and you won't believe this one. Can't believe myself. I thought people would be offended, but it's not the case. Rudy's War on Diabetes. Somebody said to declare war on it. We can't just accept this because the government is being bought off by the sugar industry, for example, and the lobbying money. You're not going to get around it. I even went to our state head of public health, state Indiana, 3 years ago, with a whole bunch of books, and more books than this, and laid them out. And I said, you could stop reverse diabetes. Please step up to bat. He gave me an hour. Jeremy Adams, he's now the Surgeon General of the United States. Pence appointed him. And a very nice guy, gave me a full hour, but did absolutely nothing. Now he's the Surgeon General of the United States. What an opportunity. I'm waiting for the phone to ring. And let's teach the nation about this. We're all worried about the virus. Sure, it's killing a few people, but nowhere near the rate that diabetes is killing the people. As a matter of fact, the virus is killing most of the time the people who get diabetes. They have no resistance. Yes. Dr. Furman, whose book I already showed you, I noticed he sent out a big message on his website. That's exactly what he spoke about. We have much bigger epidemics. That doesn't mean we shouldn't pay any attention to the thing we're dealing right now, the virus, but the diabetes epidemic is bigger, 1,000 to 1, maybe 10,000 to 1. Let's deal with both. Take advantage of this opportunity. So to summarize things for you a little bit, so we get the picture, if you've got type 2 diabetes already, it can be stopped, reversed 6 weeks, around 90% of the time, depending on how closely you follow things. You tell your doctor you're changing the way you're eating, you're exercising more, and check your blood sugar a little more frequently, okay? Easy way, nutrient-dense diet, maybe cut back on the meat a little bit, maybe some turkey, some chicken now and then, but chicken's 40% fat, okay? And to me, still the best way really is to do a touch of keto. Lengthen the time between meals so that you go into ketones, because it'll empty your fat cells. You'll get thinner. Insulin resistance will go down because the insulin level will drop pretty quickly, and your insulin resistance can be gone in a week. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Mark Hyman, another great book to read, Eat Fat, Be Thin, a great book. He mentions that your blood sugars may be normal in a week. It's in his book. It's in his book. And he has the way of testing with serum insulins, which I'm speaking about. That's in Dr. Hyman's book. The reason I didn't mention that is Dr. Kraft confirms what Hyman is saying, but the original paper was not Mark Hyman. It was Dr. Kraft. He wrote the original paper on this, and it only amazes me that it's not exploding all over, the internet, for example, or taught in the medical schools, although I've brought it to the medical school. And they said this summer I will be teaching that at the IU Medical Center, okay? They told me that, but to me it should be taught to every health practitioner to catch this pandemic of diabetes and its many chronic diseases. And to learn more about this, in summary, you can go to YouTube, Rudy Kachmann, diabetes, and I'd say 30 to 50 previous YouTube shows show up on that. I have also on there, if you need to find out gluten, for example, or obesity, or dementia, vascular disease, your biome. These are all on the YouTube show. I also go to Warsaw. I'm going next month. I think the 17th or so. It's on a Saturday. To give talks on the biome and how milk affects our body. And I'm at Dr. Coates' office in the middle of April. I'm going to be at the Neighborhood Health Clinic in the Improv Center. I'll be speaking there. I'm trying to change the paradigm, improve the health for the community. Why am I doing this? I love you. I care about you. So I hope you look at it, maybe a YouTube show. Maybe you have a friend who has diabetes. If you don't have it, you can tell them, hey, I can help you get rid of this disease. I see people for free at a lot of these clinics, and get yourself informed. The Access show is 5:30, Comcast 57, Monday, 6 o'clock, Wednesday, and then also FM 95.6. And I thank Public Access for the opportunity to speak to you. Namaste. I do this because I love you. Remember, I declared war on diabetes, and my bullets are information and love. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.